Are you prepared for what's coming? The looming economic challenges are worse than a recession, and here's why. The world has been facing a series of economic challenges over the years, from the Great Depression in the 1930s to the global finance crisis in 2008. There have been several instances where the world economy has faced a major downturn. However, many experts believe that what's coming is worse than a recession. In this video, we'll be discussing why that is and what we can expect in the coming years. Part 1. The current economic climate. The global economy is facing unprecedented challenges that are impacting businesses and individuals alike. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused widespread disruptions and has highlighted long-standing economic and social inequalities. In many ways, what's coming is worse than a recession. The pandemic has had a significant impact on the global economy, leading to a recession in many countries. Governments and central banks have responded with unprecedented monetary and fiscal stimulus measures to help support businesses and households. While these measures have been necessary to prevent a complete economic collapse, they have also created new challenges. One of the biggest challenges facing the global economy today is the rising level of debt. Governments around the world have borrowed significant amounts of money to fund their stimulus programs, and this has led to a sharp increase in public debt. Many countries are now facing the prospect of a debt crisis, which could lead to significant economic instability. Another challenge facing the global economy is the growing trend of technological disruption. Automation and artificial intelligence are rapidly changing the nature of work, and many traditional jobs are at risk of becoming obsolete. This trend is exacerbating existing social and economic inequalities, and governments and businesses must work together to ensure that the benefits of technological change are shared equitably. Climate change is another major challenge facing the global economy. The impacts of climate change, such as extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and declining biodiversity, will have significant economic consequences. Businesses and governments must take action to mitigate the impacts of climate change and transition to a more sustainable and resilient economy. Part 2. The impact of technological change. Technological change is one of the most significant challenges facing the global economy today. Automation and artificial intelligence are rapidly changing the nature of work, and many traditional jobs are at risk of becoming obsolete. This trend is exacerbating existing social and economic inequalities, and governments and businesses must work together to ensure that the benefits of the technological change are shared equitably. The impact of technological change is already being felt in many industries. For example, the manufacturing sector has seen significant job losses as a result of automation. Robots and other automated systems are increasingly being used to perform tasks that were previously done by human workers, and this trend is expected to continue. In the service sector, artificial intelligence is being used to automate routine tasks such as customer service and data entry. The impact of technological change is not limited to specific industries. It is also affecting the broader labor market. Many jobs that were previously thought to be safe from automation are now at risk. For example, white-collar jobs such as accounting and legal services are increasingly being automated. The impact of technological change is also exacerbating existing social and economic inequalities. Workers in low-skilled jobs are particularly vulnerable to job losses as a result of automation. These workers are often the least able to adapt to new technologies or to retrain for new jobs. This can lead to long-term unemployment and poverty. Governments and businesses must work together to ensure that the benefits of technological change are shared equitably. This could involve investing in education and training programs to help workers transition to new industries and technologies. It could also involve implementing policies that ensure that workers are treated fairly in the transition to a more automated economy. Part 3. The threat of climate change. Another major factor that is contributing to the sense that what's coming is worse than a recession is the threat of climate change. The impacts of climate change, such as extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and declining biodiversity, will have significant economic consequences. Businesses and governments must take action to mitigate the impacts of climate change and transition to a more sustainable and resilient economy. The economic impacts of climate change are already being felt in many parts of the world. Extreme weather events, such as hurricanes, floods, and wildfires, are becoming more frequent and more severe. These events can cause significant damage to infrastructure, homes, and businesses, leading to economic losses and disruption. Rising sea levels are also a major concern for many coastal communities. As sea levels rise, coastal infrastructure and homes are at risk of flooding and erosion. This can lead to significant economic losses and displacement of people. Climate change is also affecting agriculture and food production. Changes in temperature and precipitation patterns can have significant impacts on crop yields and food prices. This can lead to food insecurity and economic instability in many parts of the world. To mitigate the impacts of climate change, businesses and governments must take action to transition to a more sustainable and resilient economy. This could involve investing in renewable energy, such as wind and solar power, and implementing policies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It could also involve investing in infrastructure to protect against the impacts of climate change, such as seawalls and other coastal protection measures. Overall, climate change is one of the greatest challenges facing the global economy today. The impacts of climate change will have significant economic consequences, and businesses and governments must take action to mitigate these impacts and transition to a more sustainable and resilient economy. By working together, we can create a more resilient and equitable future for all. Part 4. What's next? As we look to the future, it's clear that the challenges facing the global economy are complex and interconnected. The current economic climate, the impact of technological change, and the threat of climate change are all significant challenges that require immediate action. One of the key challenges facing the global economy is the need to create more sustainable and inclusive economic systems. This will require significant investments in renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and education and training programs. It will also require a shift in mindset among businesses and policymakers, with a greater emphasis on long-term sustainability and social responsibility. Another key challenge is the need to address the growing inequalities within and between countries. This will require a range of policy interventions, such as a progressive taxation, social safety nets, and investment in education and healthcare. It will also require greater cooperation among countries to address global challenges such as climate change and international trade. Technology will continue to play a significant role in shaping the global economy in the coming years. Advances in artificial intelligence, robotics, and automation will continue to change the nature of work and create new opportunities and challenges. It will be important for businesses and governments to work together to ensure that these technologies are used in a way to benefit all members of society, rather than exacerbating existing inequalities. Finally, addressing the threat of climate change will be one of the most pressing challenges facing the global economy in the coming years. This will require significant investments in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and infrastructure to protect against the impacts of climate change. It will also require a shift in mindset among policymakers and businesses, with a greater emphasis on long-term sustainability and resilience. In conclusion, the challenges facing the global economy are complex and interconnected, and they require immediate action. By working together to create more sustainable and inclusive economic systems, addressing inequalities, embracing new technologies, and tackling the threat of climate change, we can create a brighter and more equitable future for all. The challenges that we face today are significant and require a collective effort to address. However, by recognizing the impact of technological change and the threat of climate change, and investing in sustainable practices and technologies, we can create a more resilient and equitable future. It's up to all of us, governments, businesses, and individuals, to take action and make difficult choices to ensure a better tomorrow. If you found this video informative, please like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.